What if I told you that the peace lily doesn't bloom randomly, but is quietly responding to something most plant owners never notice, ignored by nearly everyone? Ancient healers grew it deliberately. Modern botanists are now scrambling to decode its signals. Some blooms disappear entirely, not because the plant is dying, but because its trigger is misunderstood. Today, I'm revealing the hidden mechanism behind why peace lilies suddenly bloom. Stay till the end. You'll discover why getting this right transforms a silent plant into a perpetual flowering machine. Here's what most people do. You place your peace lily in a bright corner, water it regularly, maybe feed it fertilizer, and wait. Nothing. You move it closer to the window. Still nothing. You water more. The leaves stay glossy, lush, mocking you, but not a single flower. Here's what nobody tells you. The problem is in light. It isn't water. It isn't even the pot size. The problem is stress signals. Your peace lily blooms not when it's comfortable, but when it's triggered. And most owners are accidentally preventing that trigger every single day. In this video, I'm revealing exactly what that trigger is, the precise stress signal that flips your peace lily from silent to blooming. We'll cover the 5 key mechanisms step by step, and stay till the end, because the final trigger is the one most owners never suspect, yet it's the most powerful of all. If you love understanding plants at a deeper level, not just watering and hoping, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell, because what we're about to reveal will permanently change how you see every plant in your home. If you want a garden that practically takes care of itself, then you'll love my new ebook on The Lazy Gardener's 30-Minute Garden. It shows you how to grow more food and flowers using simple daily habits that take just 30 minutes a day. Click the link in the description below to grab your copy and start building a low-maintenance garden today. Step 1. Understand the stress bloom mechanism. First, understand what's actually happening inside your peace lily. The peace lily blooms in response to mild environmental stress, not comfort. When conditions shift slightly outside its ideal range, the plant interprets this as a survival signal and produces flowers to attract pollinators before conditions worsen. This is the core mechanism most owners never learn. Without understanding this, every other step is guesswork. Step 2. Introduce a temperature drop. Now lower the temperature around your plant by 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 weeks. This mimics the natural seasonal shift the peace lily experiences in its native tropical forest floor. Place it near a cooler window at night, not cold, not drafty, just noticeably cooler. Most people keep their peace lily in one stable warm spot year-round. That consistency tells the plant everything is fine, no need to flower. The temperature drop whispers something different. This single step triggers blooming in more cases than any other intervention. Step 3. Adjust the watering rhythm, not the amount. Here's where most people fail. They either overwater trying to encourage growth or underwater thinking stress means drought. Neither works. What you want is a slight delay. Allow the top inch of soil to dry out completely before watering. Not bone dry, not wilting. Just a brief, deliberate pause. This mimics the peace lily's natural dry season signal. The mechanism, mild root moisture stress, activates the plant's reproductive response. The sensory cue of success, the outermost leaves will develop a very slight, barely noticeable droop. That is the bloom trigger activating. Water immediately at that point. Step 4. Reduce fertilizer. Completely stop all fertilizer feeding for 6 to 8 weeks before you expect blooms. This is absolutely fundamental and almost universally ignored. High nitrogen fertilizer tells your peace lily to produce leaves, not flowers. Nitrogen signals abundance. The plant responds by growing, not reproducing. Reducing fertilizer signals resource limitation, which activates the survival reproduction instinct. Once you see the first flower spathe emerging, a pale hood-like sheath rising from the base, you can resume a low nitrogen, high phosphorus feed to sustain the bloom. Step 5. Increase indirect light. Gradually move your peace lily to a brighter position, but never direct sun. Bright, filtered light accelerates the blooming response once the stress triggers from steps 1 through 4 are active. Think of light as the final key that unlocks a door the other steps already opened. Without the prior stress signals, more light alone produces nothing. With them active, increased indirect light can trigger visible flower spathes within 2 to 3 weeks. We're now halfway through. Remember, stay till the end. And the final trigger is the one nobody talks about, and it's the reason some peace lilies bloom year after year while others never flower again. Now let me tell you something the houseplant industry will never put on a fertilizer label. If every peace lily owner understood stress bloom triggering, the market for blooming booster products, bottles selling for $15, $20, sometimes more, would collapse overnight. There's no profit in telling you to lower your thermostat at night. There's no margin in telling you to simply delay watering by 2 days. So instead, the messaging stays focused on products. Buy this feed, try this formula, add this supplement. Ancient tropical cultivators didn't have any of that. They understood one thing. Plants bloom when they must, not when they're comfortable. Comfort produces leaves. Mild adversity produces flowers. Modern plant science keeps arriving at the exact same conclusion, that flowering in aroids like the peace lily is fundamentally a stress response mechanism, not a reward for perfect care. Yet walk into any garden center and you'll find rows of bloom-boosting products that treat the symptom while completely ignoring the cause. The cause is always the same. The plant has received no signal that it needs to reproduce. No temperature shift, no moisture variation, no light change. Just stable, comfortable, product-fed existence and silence. You don't need another product. You need to understand your plant's language. And that language is written entirely in environmental signals. Signals that cost nothing, require no shipping, and have worked for millions of years before the first bottle of Bloom Booster was ever manufactured. That's the knowledge that doesn't get monetized. That's exactly why you won't find it on the label. If you're tired of spending hours in the garden, pulling weeds and constantly watering plants, I created something just for you. My ebook, The Lazy Gardener's 30-Minute Garden, shows you simple systems that make gardening easier, smarter, and way less work. Just click the link in the description below and download your copy today. Now let me tell you what to expect, specifically so you know it's working. By day 10 to 14 of applying the temperature drop and adjusted watering rhythm, you'll notice something subtle first. A slight tightening at the base of the plant, a new growth point pushing upward that looks different from a regular leaf shoot. It's thicker, paler, more deliberate. By day 18 to 21, that shoot will have revealed itself unmistakably. The spathe, the peace lily's iconic white hood, unfurling slowly from a straight green stem. At this point, Move it into your brightest indirect light position and resume minimal watering. By day 30, you'll have a fully open bloom, sometimes two. In well-established plants that have never been stress-triggered before, I've seen 4 spathes emerge simultaneously in the first cycle. I've been applying these exact principles for over 6 years across dozens of peace lilies, in varying pot sizes, soil mixes, and room conditions. The stress trigger method has produced blooms in plants that hadn't flowered in 3 years. If by day 21 you see no spathe emerging, check one thing first. Is the plant root-bound? A severely root-bound peace lily redirects all energy to root survival. Gently inspect the drainage holes. If roots are visibly circling or escaping, repot into a container one size larger, allow 2 weeks of recovery, then restart the stress cycle from step 1. The plant will always tell you what it needs. You simply need to learn how to read what it's saying. And now, we've arrived at the final trigger, the one most owners never suspect, the most powerful blooming mechanism of all. Here's the final trigger, the one nobody talks about: repotting shock. Deliberately repotting your peace lily into fresh soil, even without sizing up the pot, creates a brief, now controlled root disturbance that mimics the plant's most primal survival signal. The roots sense disruption. The plant interprets it as environmental instability, and within 3 to 5 weeks, it does what every living thing does when it senses its situation may be about to change. It reproduces. This is why peace lilies in garden centers are often blooming. They've just been transported, handled, repotted, and stressed through an entire supply chain. You bring one home, place it in perfect stable conditions, and the blooms stop. You didn't kill it. You made it too comfortable. And that is the deeper truth this plant has been trying to teach us all along. The peace lily doesn't bloom as a reward for perfect care. It blooms as an act of courage in the face of mild adversity. It flowers not from abundance, but from the instinct to survive, to continue, to leave something beautiful behind before conditions shift. There is something worth sitting with in that. The most spectacular growth in nature, and perhaps elsewhere, rarely comes from comfort. It comes from the moment an organism senses that comfort cannot be guaranteed forever and decides to bloom anyway. Your peace lily already knows this. Now so do you. These aren't just houseplant tips. This is an ancient biological conversation, one that was happening long before the first garden center opened, long before the first bloom booster was bottled. You just needed to learn the language. If this video changed how you see your peace lily or any plant in your home, hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells me to keep making content exactly like this. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week we go deeper into the hidden language of plants. No filler, no product pushing, just the knowledge that actually works. And I want to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me this, is your peace lily currently blooming, or has it gone silent on you? How long has it been? Drop it below. I read every single comment, and I'll personally reply to as many as I can. If you know someone who has a peace lily sitting quietly in the corner of their home, refusing to flower, share this video with them right now. You might just be the reason their plant finally blooms. And if you want to go even deeper, watch the video appearing on your screen right now. Now it covers the next layer of this conversation, one that will make everything we discussed today even more powerful. See you in the next one. If you found this video helpful, Then you'll love the full system I put together in my ebook, The Lazy Gardener's 30-Minute Garden. Inside the book, I show you the exact daily 30-minute routine, low-maintenance garden layouts, and the plant-once crops that keep producing for years. So if you want a garden that grows more food and flowers with less work, click the link in the description below and grab your copy today.